And we're live. We've got Lena in the house.
Howdy, guys. Hey. And if I could take a minute, the new cards have arrived in my lap, and here they are.
Wow, first time to see them.
One World Tarot. I did this with Sienna Rose. That's the box.
Wait, hang on a second. I'm going to make you bigger, Lena, so it'll show up better. Hang on.
How high tech. Oh, wow.
There we go. Okay.
And this is the book, and it's designed if you're learning tarot, and everything has a description of the card, your personal view or a world view of what that means. And during the day, you'll see these cards in action.
Fabulous.
And at the end of September, we're going to have 2 live streams, hopefully with you guys and everybody. So hopefully everyone can come to one of them. And we're just going to have a tarot party.
I would love to be there. I'm going to be in the Catskills with Linda G when they're doing those. So I'm going to miss those, but I can't wait to watch them and see the do a walkthrough so we can see all the cards.
Yeah, for sure. But I want it just to be an event. So if you have questions that aren't political, because we want it to be a party, I guess we'll go to Sienna's community feed, but I'll let you all know what's happening.
Awesome.
So you're off to the Catskills. How gorgeous.
Yes. Doing a seminar there. I teach healing energy work at the seminars and among other things. So it's so much fun. I can't wait because that's my old stomping grounds, New York. So I'm excited. It's the first time we're doing one in the Catskills. So I hope it goes well because we might want to do another one there next year if it goes well. We're going to try them out this year.
About how many people can you have there?
55 to 60.
That's a good number.
We could do a little bit more than that, but it depends on how many teachers we have, because we divide them up into classes. And like for me, the class sizes are about 15 per class. And it's a nice size because I'm very hands-on with everybody, going around working with everybody. So if the class is too big, it's hard to do that. So if anybody wants to book a reading with Lena, can email her.
Yes. Hopefully someone's got the email there. Anyway, I'll tell you what it is. It's my name, Lena, Lena, Rodriguez.tarot@gmail.com.
Awesome. Becca did Friday night a grand tableau on Trump, and it was awesome. If you guys missed it, it's well worth watching the full 2 hours. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I did miss a bit of it. I was talking to Jenny today in the pre-show about the woman that's in the middle of the tableau because she sits on house child. So I was just thinking that it's an inexperienced younger woman, so it could be the judge. I'm not quite sure. And I know that when I was doing that ground tableau, I was having difficulty seeing if she rules in his favor. And I looked at it again after the live stream on my notes, and it looks like if she does, it shows up a couple of columns ahead, but then there's a fight and it gets overturned because he sits too far from the paper, if that makes sense. So it's almost like if she does give him an out, there's litigation and it goes back, but it doesn't go back to Florida. It goes somewhere else for ruling, and then it doesn't help Trump, if that makes sense. And then on the diagonal, it says that choice affects her reputation and her honor, and it diminishes it. So it could be her. I'm not quite sure. And then I was talking to Jenny as well, because in the column next to where Trump sits, I was saying someone's getting in trouble next month. And I couldn't figure out who it was. Like there was charges or indictments or something coming for that person next month, October. And I was struggling to figure out who it was. And then Jenny kindly reminded me that Steve Bannon is getting sentenced next month.
Yes.
And the judge denied the appeal for a retrial. So he's getting sentenced in October.
So it could be him. I'm not sure. I don't know names. So, but that's that was in the following column.
And I've even forgotten now, because so much goes on, what he's charged with in this.
For not testifying to the committee.
Oh,
so
of course, yeah,
obstruction.
refusing to comply. That's
Yeah.
it, of course.
Which makes
30
sense.
days to 2 years, he stands a chance of getting.
Which makes sense because the dog sits above Garden, and Garden
Mm.
sits on House Key. So it's like somewhere where there's an audience or a large body of people. So it makes sense that it would be Bannon, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Now, people in the comments want to know what your shirts say, God. So you,
God ain't petty, but I am. I saw that somebody said, "Does it say God ain't a Republican?" I was like, "That would be a great T-shirt."
Oh, that's it. And what about your shirt, Johnny?
Thou shalt not try me. Move.
That is brilliant.
I see Johnny has his new little tarot sign up right there.
Finally got some hooks for the wall.
Yep. So I'm wondering, Johnny, where's the creepy baby head?
He's waiting his turn.
Johnny's doing lives Monday through Thursday at 8
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Figure out in between.
Oh.
And they've been awesome. He takes not personal questions, but he takes political questions from the chat.
All right. We could have a little competition today with our viewers too. With all these different acronyms are coming out for MAGA. So there's Make Attorneys Great Again is one. There's another one in Texas, Mothers Against Greg Abbott.
Oh, nice.
And
Make attorneys good attorneys.
My personal favourite, of course, is Mature Age Gays of Australia, which is a real organisation. I didn't make it up.
Nice.
But so that's what you do. You take your word and you control the narrative.
I love the Make Attorneys Get Attorneys.
Yeah. They're good, aren't they?
Thank you, Mara. Johnny, you got anything else going on this week?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I'll be live tomorrow at 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we are live for an hour, Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give a special happy birthday shout out to Allie P. I don't know if she's in chat tonight or not. Y'all usually see her. She may be out celebrating. Today's her birthday. She's a dear friend I've known since the 1980s. So we've been friends for a long time.
Birthday, Allie.
Happy birthday, Johnny.
I'm just letting you know it's not my birthday because I got like 400 well wishes last week.
Johnny, I saw a comment. Somebody wanted to know if you fed the creepy baby head.
Don't you feed it some Kit Kats on the full moon or something?
Give it some Kit Kats.
Until Halloween.
It eats Tim Tams.
That's how it keeps its figure, not until Halloween.
Oh, let's see. Where do we start tonight? I think we got to start with the Oath Creepers lawyer got indicted for conspiracy, just like the Oath Creepers did. Okay, could I write her name down?
I think her name is like Kelly Sorrell. It's
Sorelle. So real.
It's getting real.
It's getting real, Miss Kelly. How's her trial going to go? Couldn't happen.
What's happening here? I've forgotten already. It's early for me.
It's she's the attorney for we call them the Oath Creepers. She's the attorney for them, and she got indicted for conspiracy herself.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, don't we stay as far away from any of these people as we possibly can? I don't care if you need a hamburger at 9 p.m. in the day. No, we're closed to you because you bring trouble.
Yeah. Lucky Girl says, Kelly Sorrell, General Counsel for the Oath Keepers, faces obstruction of justice and obstruction of an official proceeding charge.
I thought they had her on conspiracy too.
That'd be nice. Oh, there we go.
So how's her court case going to go?
So her name's Kelly with 2 E's. I'm not sure how that works. But here we go. Kelly. Oh, well, she's welcome. Lie down with the dogs and the fleas will bite.
Yeah, she's lying with somebody.
Or just lying. Oh, yes, Marie, there are 6 planets retrograde at the same time. Now, I'm not an astrologer, but it doesn't sound good to me. 6 things zooming backwards through the sky.
Ooh, I'm getting something new's going to come up with her too. What are y'all getting? Miss Lena?
Okay, well, she thought she was aligning herself with the King of Pentacles here, Mr. Money, but she'd be mistaken. I'll come back to that in a moment. In the meantime, she's waiting for her own ship to come in. You see in these new cards, I actually put ships in there that you can see. You know,
oh, cool. I
making it easy for new readers. She's going to be made an offer. Tell us what you know, and you've got a sporting chance of getting on with your life. But I don't think she's that keen. She's quite conspiratorial. I thought she might be, innocent's the wrong word, but a bit naive. But she's quite a calculating little number. And she's going to be talking to lawyers who are even less well equipped than she is here with this 3. So she's going to get bad advice that will lead her. She's going to lose money on this because she's a comparative nobody. Who's going to pay her bills, right? So this is going to affect her financially. We can't even talk about her reputation because she hasn't got one, but it's not good.
What you getting, Johnie?
Lena, you have a question. What deck are you using? Will you hold it up again?
Yeah. Hang on a minute. It's One World Tarot, and it's heavily based on Rider-Waite. I like to think they're recognizable as Rider-Waite images that have just been modernized, diversified, bringing it out of the Middle Ages. So that's it. One World Tarot.
That's Lena's new deck for those.
Hi, Lena Rodriguez.
Yeah. With a Z.
I love the
Like
updated artwork. It's pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's
Alexandra did that for us, so good on her. Yeah.
I get there might be some kind of delays here. The Page of Swords is how it starts. I get the 3 of Wands as well. Something is anticipating and approaching. No, that is very bad news, or will spell very bad news. But there might be some sort of delays because I get the Judgment here is not necessarily concrete. So there may be other information that's coming in. Not delays as in obstruction, but delays in other stuff is still coming in. Because you have the burden or something has stopped, sort of stuck in place, but you have the Ace of Swords. So this might be some new evidence because the 7 of Pentacles, there's also some assessing. So something else is coming in that you're going to have to then take into account. The word of warning is the Emperor. There is a man here who spells a lot of bad news for her in her case specifically. Someone here, though, is sort of creating for her a way to lessen the impact with the 6 of Wands, because that's in the Solace, and I got these 2 as clarifiers, Knight of Cups, 6 of Swords. So there is someone that's kind of giving her a way to lessen the impact. So maybe a plea or something to lessen the impact. But we're going to learn a lot more with the sun, and there's some confirmation of things too. So it's kind of like maybe where money came from, or where some direction came from. Like this, with this, because the Gen 6 was an orchestrated thing. This wasn't just people out of control. So some more of that type of information may come out as well. For this is also the parade card too. So there might be some information about crowns too.
Wow. What'd you get, Becca?
I get that I'm with Johnie. There might be a bit of a delay, but ultimately she's charged for perhaps something to do with lying and obstruction. But she's punished heavily. And I don't know. This is looking like, I didn't ask for time, but it's 21 months, 36 months, 32 months. It's a while for obstruction.
So
There's punishment, lying, and then obstruction.
Wow.
Or trouble. I don't know exactly what she did, but she's in trouble. She's in trouble.
Oh, for those taking Johnny's tarot class, since Lena's new deck is heavily based on Rider-Waite, you could get her new deck to use. I get they're going to send a message to her and other attorneys over this one, because she, was trying to block the legal proceedings. They got the information anyway, so like her trying to hang on to it didn't work. But she's in for treachery through the court systems, I get, and there's a whole network she's involved with. Somebody is giving up the goods, so there's something new that's going to come up. I do get she might try to go for some sort of plea deal when something new comes up, try to change things. It has to do with money, and who paid for these guys or something. There's a lot of money involved here, switching hands, and maybe even a little money laundering. But she's going to be lucky if she keeps her law license, because she's looking at new charges coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm getting she'll end up with like 4 overall by the time it's all said and done. So that may be why it gets delayed. Like they start tacking on more charges.
Well, you would think she would automatically lose her license, because Cohen was charged with something that wasn't a felony, and he lost his license. And this lady's being charged with felony obstruction of justice, felony of official proceeding. Like, she's got a few charges. So
yeah, she's got to be guilty first before she loses the license. But, so the Florida judge, who's way over her head, that's trying to decide on the special master. I know it came up in as Becca was talking about in the Grand Tableau, but will she appoint a special master or deny one?
I'm going to sit this one out.
Okay. Will there be a special master?
Because the investigation's already underway. She can't stop it. So,
and not only that, the special masters would have to have certain levels of clearance to even touch those documents. So she's way in over her head. Way in over her head.
Special master.
I bet Hillary has the right level of security to go through them. Let's bring her in.
Yeah. God.
That would be petty.
Former Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention majority elected president.
Indeed.
Yeah, she got more votes.
Oh, well.
I get upon advice of someone more, I won't say smarter, but I get no. This plan has to be abandoned to get the 8 of Cups here. Assessing an 8 of Cups, so after looking something over, but this is something that was brought to this person's attention. So the 8 of Cups and the Temperance with the 4 of Wands, so someone sort of in-house, or maybe another lawyer, maybe another judge, a colleague of some sort, gave advice with Temperance and 8 of Wands to say, assess this further because of this, and this, and go to a new plan or walk away from this. So get a no.
Yeah, with me, she went through the motions of talking to a senior player, the King of Wands here. What is my judicial responsibility here? I'm sure she took advice. There was a bit of argument behind the scene from the two pages, the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. This is the plus side, this is the minus side. And I think they cancel each other out in that sense. And it was a false claim that it was even a thing that could be done, because as I understand it, Giuliani could use it because you're talking about special master looking at what's client privilege, etc. But this isn't that. This is stolen boxes of American government property sitting in an inappropriate place. So at the end of the day, there's no, but she had to go through all that, I think, to come to the decision, Queen of Wands, that'd be a no, pet. You know.
Yeah. She's not satisfied yet. I think she will turn her back on it eventually. Somebody's telling her, giving her some advice about her image. Like, this isn't going to look good. You've got to use good judgment on this. The work is still going on, so she can't stop that. They've already lost from that aspect because the work is still going on. I get, looking for somebody, an inside person that has that level of security, that's higher up, trying to move someone like that in. But by the time she does it, I get like, all the options are already covered. I actually get a yes that she will. But it's like, she's not going to make the decision this week. And I think Becca's Grand Tableau showed that. I'm having to pull a lot of cards to get to the yes.
She's definitely taking advice, but no, I don't think she will. Yeah.
The Grand Tableau shows that if she does decide in Trump's favor, when I boxed her and I followed her across, it gives them an out, but it's only temporary because then it gets disputed and then it's overturned, and then that letter gets transferred somewhere else where it's supposed to go. So it's almost like even if she does rule, it gets overturned. Do you see what I'm saying? Because there's something on a paper she has to write, and that gets disputed and turned around. So
well, speaking of something on a piece of paper that you have to write, Trump's lawyer Christina Bobb, did she know, because she signed something saying, oh no, you've got all the confidential documents and everything's been turned over, and then they find out no, and they have to do the search. Did she know Trump had not turned everything in, or was she sort of trusting him, what he was telling her, or did she know that not everything? Did she
know, or did she lie?
Did she lie, or did she know? Or did she take Trump's word for it?
I did a reading on her in one of the live streams just to see what's coming up for her, because she's Trump's new victim in the tale of Medusa. And so it's like something that she held back. So she was supposed to sign off that everything they got is everything they wanted. But I think she held something back. But let's see. Did she know?
That's what he gets for Craigslist lawyers.
Did she know? Oh, this is a bit tricky. Will I go?
Absolutely.
I think she thought she had the lot at first, right? She would have talked to the relevant parties and just asked them. She wouldn't be expecting to have to go around on her hands and knees looking in his undies drawer, So she would have asked them, and they said, yes, this is it. So she believed them at the beginning. However, she became suspicious with this manipulation here, she felt she was being manipulated. And I would say she was right about that. The Hangman. So then she was a bit worried, because I don't think she's an out and out evil person. She thought she was, doing a particular legal function. Then she was strung up in the tree by the others who did it. So then she had no choice but to come forward here and say, oh, yes, she had to lie on her own behalf, if you know what I mean, knowing second time round that it wasn't true. And then the Knight of Pentacles. I think that she was offered money to just go with this. There's an element of money here. Yeah, well, we forgot about the other 47 boxes, but look, here you go. What about this $1 million? I think there was some grubby attempt to compromise her in this.
Do the king's bidding.
Do the king's bidding.
Wow.
Ooh.
What you getting, Johnie?
I get pretty much the same thing. There's an agreement here, the Two of Cups. So we're on the same accord, but there's Eight of Swords. There's some sort of restriction. Something's left out. I think that she's not a Girl Scout, but at the same time, she is also dealing with Donald Trump. And so if he is honest to anybody in this world, it wouldn't be her.
Yeah, that's right. So, he wouldn't know her name.
For whatever reason. So she may have gotten herself into some other kind of trouble too, because again, she signed off on something and they didn't actually have everything. Because you have the regrets here in the Five of Wands. So whatever it is that you did that you should not have done is going to cause a lot of conflict. And the Page of Swords is in your word of warning. So bad news is coming and lies were being told. So I think she was lied to as well. But at the same time, this is part of the story. New victim of Medusa. You ain't have no business over here in the first place.
It's Trump. Of course he's going to lie to you.
Yeah. Just before we go on, I want to clarify something. Aspie, no, it wasn't a judge that accepted the bribe. This was the lawyer who signed off at Mar-a-Lago that everything had been returned.
What'd you get, Becca?
No, there was a move here. Something was moved, perhaps around somewhere where they marketing, and then storage, boxes, closets, under the drawer, inside of drawers, under the bed, by the bed. Do you see what I'm saying? She didn't
in the coffin.
Like literally, probably in Ivana's coffin. Like she didn't know that it was moved. Stuff was moved here in a box. So or in a coffin. Okay, so.
Well, to Johnny's point, she's working with Medusa. Like she's working with someone very dark. Thank you, Callie. But I get they kept it secret from her. And when she found out, it threw her off balance. But they set her up to be the sacrifice. So, Trump keeps his name off everything. And then the investigators come in and blammo, there's all these documents. It was only a matter of time. And then she realized she was manipulated, very burdened. And now she's going to have her own court things investigated. She's another one, like she's gonna lose her law license. She's gonna end up with her own things because she looked at
Well, you only have to be in the same room with him and your life falls apart. He's got to wait 2 years.
So his other lawyer, Lena Habbah, Habbah, she claimed that she searched Mar-a-Lago, like all 120 something rooms.
Yeah, I love this.
Searched it, and that they had everything. So how are things going to go for her? They're going to lose their attorney-client privilege because now they're an accessory to the issues.
Yes. Yeah, the one that allegedly did the search. Because it's one thing to sign off when people come and tell you this is what happened, sign here. But it's another to claim you searched.
It's like, how hard would it be to open Donald Trump's desk drawer and find 3 documents laying there? For entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
And all the people who are alleged spies who have been strolling through Mar-a-Lago for 5 years, I mean,
all
someone
of this is just a
describes
bizarre
spies
thing to
paradise.
And the fact that the MAGA people are okay with him having classified documents, it's like,
I mean, the fact that he's not behind 2 bars and 18 jail cells, it's like,
Yeah.
at this point, what are we even talking about still? Because the classified documents that are extremely vital to national security, you just took them. Okay, fine. The crime is done. Now here comes the sentence. Like we don't even have to
Do all the
there's
other
no
stuff.
evidence to find anymore. You found the proof. It was in his house. What are we talking about now?
Yeah. But here's the thing too. Those very classified documents, right? They're accounted for every minute they leave a cupboard or a shelf and someone reads them. So there had to be deceit at the White House to pretend to hand things back to the archives at the end of the day and at the end of the week and stuff for this to have taken hold. So it's not just like a pile on his desk and putting it in his golf buggy.
they usually don't let those documents out of their sight, though, because he could go and photocopy them and then
look, exactly. Luckily, he can't use a photocopy. I think we've established that, but someone could. So there was a breakdown back right in the White House archives government thing from the beginning. And I think this should be talked about too. That was a problem.
We're going to have to look at that. So, Lena Haba, how are things going to go for her?
Yeah, she's the one who allegedly searched the place.
She must be blind if she couldn't find stacks of boxes with top secret all over it.
Yeah.
I searched, but I couldn't see anything.
The first card is Emperor. So there is someone she considers very powerful. The 6 of Swords. So there's some sort of help to escape or trying to help to lessen something that's coming. Because I get the Justice and the 3 of Wands and the Tower. So someone is very afraid of disaster approaching from the Justice or Justice Department or a court or something legal. So they're trying to create some sort of escape plan for the Emperor here. Again, newest victim of Medusa. How many times do we need to keep playing the story? The Strength and the 2 of Wands, there are some plans that they thought, like they always do, that this is going to work. Remember when they planned, hey, let's go bum rush the Capitol and just overturn the election? It's totally going to work. Not to mention, anyway, moving on. And then there is, it ends in the King of Cups and Queen of Cups. So she's going to have a lawyer or a team of lawyers. Because in her word of warning is the 10 of Swords. Disaster approaches. Backstabbing approaches as well.
Yeah.
There's some backstabbing coming. So I don't know from who.
Okay, well, all 3 of us got that.
Oh.
All of us but Becca, because she's got Lenormand. What'd you get, Becca?
She might be looking at getting into some serious trouble in regards to obstruction, some sort of obstruction, because I got Mountain sitting right in the middle of the read. Big loads of trouble, a lot of chaos for stealing and then obstructing. And then she's out of luck. She has no luck. And then something about boxes or keeping something, it's looking like obstruction perhaps for her is what I'm getting.
They're going to have to change it from MAGA to TAGA. Trump attorneys get attorneys.
Trump's attorneys getting arrested.
Yes. That's a good one. Okay, she rode in like the Knight of Wands here, galloping in, doing the bidding of Trump. Look, the 10 of Swords. I think this is going to be much worse for her than the other lawyer who signed off, who I think was more of a patsy. This one was more active, right? In what did she do? Did she put on sunglasses and a blindfold and said, I searched the room? The law is coming for her. Wheel of Fortune, like really not good in this context. And the Spy in the Camp. So I think she's going to get done. That's espionage. So I think she's in for a rocky road, because she did know and she did agree to do it, Yeah. Ooh, wouldn't want to be in her shoes.
I agree, Lena. I get it was the quickest search ever. Like, oh, let me go check the women's restroom, the cabana by the pool, and the bar.
That's right.
That's where she looked. And treachery, treason. She knew stuff was there, and the investigators are going to crack down on her.
Yeah.
She's done. She's toast. She messed with Trump the devil. She knew the secrets. She got pushed into doing it, but you know what? You can say no. You can always say no.
That's right. Taxi, I'm out of here.
Sword of Truth and the Ten of Swords. It's like, she is going to get annihilated. She's going to lose her license too. Those same two cards coming up for both of them, and I shuffle, I separate, and they come back out.
Yep.
She's in big trouble. So we were talking about this before we went live. When there are top secret documents and stuff, there are logs and things that they're supposed to keep track of these documents. So do they know, does the DOJ know exactly what is missing?
I wonder about that.
Because to your point, Lena, before we went live, you were talking about he hired such lackeys that they may not have done the logs the way they should have.
Yeah, this is the problem. The system's only as good as the cogs,
Because they were even hiding the visitor logs, so they probably...
Yeah, exactly. So they have no trouble with it.
So does the DOJ, those missing, those empty folders, do they know what's missing?
And Crisscross says a serial killer takes bits and pieces as trophies, and Donald took his top secret documents as trophies. Yeah, that's the mentality. No. This is actually really bad if you look at it from an administrative point of view at a top government level. It's really bad that it happened, and then happened to the extent it did. That there has to be a system breakdown, right? Just oh dear. Will I go, Jen?
Absolutely.
I think the National Archive, whoever they are, has got out of this lightly so far. And I'm a bit surprised Trump's defense haven't used this argument. They were burdened by his behavior, because he was so unorthodox. Nothing was normal. So they were burdened by that for sure. The Nine of Wands, they tried, but they couldn't rein him in a way. They did try, and then whoever would try would get battered away or fired or moved, transferred to, the back of beyond. They carried on with this behavior with the Chariot, infinitely. That this was millions of documents if you count the pages, the death card. So it's the end of how these documents are handled. It has to be reinvented. I would have imagined in the modern world they'd have not an electronic record of the document, but of what it the title of the document or something must have been recorded as part of a real archive in the modern world. There's a
to get that
disconnect here,
stamp
and
of top secret.
scandal coming.
Yeah, to get that stamp of top secret, it's got to go through some kind of protocols to be labeled that way.
Yeah. And I think it's going to get a bit ugly for the National Archive keepers. And this huge delay, a year and a half. Duh.
Yeah. What you getting, Johnie?
I didn't get anything on the documents because I'm pretty sure that if they don't know exactly, they will find out exactly just through assessment and recataloging and so forth.
Yeah.
What I get is they're more worried about the attack and defense here, or especially attack with the Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Time and money as well, which is also position as well. Their leaders, allies, or whatever across the world, because it's a big deal for them too. Searching is in the word of solace, so they will find whatever they need to find and so forth. It'll take time though, with the Wheel of Fortune. The word of warning is the Ace of Wands, so they're more concerned of what was done with the documents, more so than will we find them again. And the Three of Swords, because the bell has been rung. So I'm not so much concerned about getting the document back. I want to know what you did with it when you had it.
Yeah.
Because I can always, the secret's known by somebody else. It can be reproduced, but I just want to know, what did you do when it left here? That's the more my concern.
What you get, Becca?
I get yes. There may be some research required, some investigations, but I'm getting yes. They know what's supposed to be in like a large area, so I get yes after some research.
Yeah, I get a yes too, and I get they know who it sold some to too. So the DOJ and Trump, it's like everything in secret, all the dark money and the devil. It makes them very anxious. So to Johnny's point, it's about treason. Who where did they change hands? Who else got them? That's the thing they're going to be focused on. But I get victory. They know everybody in the network that helped with this. They know. What documents he's supposed to have. And I think they'll communicate that to America. Like we're going to start hearing more and more about what type of documents he did that with. Now, I know a judge released some of them, but they were redacted heavily. He's in deep doo-doo now. So what was in what did Trump do with the documents that disappeared out of 63 folders? What did Trump do with the documents? Now, there was one empty folder. So they had 63 at Mar-a-Lago. There's one in Trump Tower in the whiskey bar on the main lobby of one of the folders as memorabilia from Trump's time as president.
Right. Someone said, didn't a Russian oil guy get arrested for having security documents? I don't remember that story. That's interesting.
Maybe that's the one that got shoved out the hospital window.
Yeah, 6 floors up. Fell out.
So what did Trump do with the missing documents? The kittens are all passed out tonight. I don't have to entertain like I usually do.
Well, to me, this has Jared screaming all over it. But I don't think even Jared was alone. I think it involved some legal, you would have to have bent lawyers to be able to read these documents to get their actual value. Or, oh, I just heard Michael Flynn. He would know how to read a military document. Michael Flynn and Jared, who knows, but more than one, and they saw the potential, right, for selling these things. Then I think they were actually sold, lest we forget Jared got a mysterious 1.6 billion for being cute by the Saudi. Not, is it the Saudi? Yeah, I think the Saudis. But these are the secret documents themselves. Look, you've got the high priestess and the hermit. Someone had to assess how secret and therefore how valuable they were. And I think the money came through because this is happy days. So I think there was a military plus a legal person in the transaction. Just to be able to describe them. Can you imagine Trump describing what was actually in a top secret document? It's huge. It's just so huge. You really want this? Give me millions, you know, like it's bigly stuff. Bigly stuff for you, right? And you can imagine Mossad and all the agencies of the world going, really, huh? You know, have to do better than that. So
it'll show you how to blow up a hurricane with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and just look at my Sharpie illustration here. I mean, so it wasn't actually him. So who was it? Who would have thought Michael Flynn would be so deep in all this full-blown traitor to the country stuff? I mean,
yep. Working
why hasn't he been recalled?
Yeah. We should look at that, why he hasn't been recalled, because working for Turkey and stuff is just crazy. What you getting, Johnny?
I get the Two of Wands and the Hangman. There is some sort, it's in a box of some sort, but it is saved for something in the future. I get the Five of Wands, Two of Cups, and Ten of Wands. It may be to burden someone who is supposed to be an ally, but is a smaller country. There's also the Fool and the Strength. It is meant to be, it's to start something new. So again, it's meant to burden another smaller country, but it's in a box still somewhere.
What you getting, Becca?
I'm getting somewhere by a phone, paperweights, or somewhere by a phone, because it was being negotiated. Something was being negotiated about somewhere smaller that's fighting. But there's treason and betrayal here. There's the phone, and then there's anchor. So a paperweight or somewhere like on a desk where he talks, or where there's communication or meetings. But it's there's this behind those sort of communications, betrayals. So I know that they found some in his desk drawer, but
they could be at a desk in Trump Tower, in another location.
Because there's something about there where there's meetings and negotiations, and then something smaller or a smaller person that's fighting. So back to Johnny's point in a reading that we did last Sunday, on the Sunday night, I'm wondering if he has stuff on the Ukraine that, so.
Yeah, because I get he's hanging on to him. So I'm not sure he has sold him to the highest bidder yet. But, the whole family knows. He's using them to get attention, talking to people and trying to arrange, selling them. And I get all the work that he's doing is going to be illuminated. I get he's going to get trapped in treason, treachery, and again, maybe over to reiterate what y'all are getting, helping someone that's fighting, that's bullying, something for defense purposes. So he's done something sneaky with them, but I don't get they're in foreign hands yet.
I just, is he really that stupid? Is he really that stupid?
Yeah, I think that's a non-question. Yeah. And I suspect this has been going on for 5 years. That's why I think some of it's sold and some of it's held, right? I think they've been doing this since day one. It was one of their rewards, as they
When he let spies in the Oval Office. So
on day one. And then he let Maria Butina go back to Russia, after being caught spying.
And had the Anna Rothschild lady at his golf course going in and out and in and out, and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
But I got to look at your question. Why hasn't Flynn been recalled to active service and court-martialed?
Because Obama was suspicious about him. So it goes back a long way. But why hasn't he been recalled? I mean, if Merrick Garland can do all this with a president, the army can take on one of their own. It's not as though there's a bit of suspicion or a bit of smoke or a bit of something.
He was
in jail, for God's sake. He was in jail. Whatever.
He pled guilty. He just got a pardon.
Yeah. So are they planning anything for Flynn, or what's happening for Flynn? He should not get a military pension. Mm-mm. But back to the papers for a minute. I'm surprised in the modern world that these things are physical papers. Why isn't it all electronic and backed up? It's kind of weird. It's
another weird thing, too, that the federal government's spyware or the antivirus software that they had was from Kaspersky, which is a Russian company. Why don't you have your own antivirus software? No. Why are you using a company in Russia? Or anywhere.
Yes. That has associations with the KGB. Yes.
Now, mind you, Kaspersky they came out and said we have no connection to anyone hacking or anything, because they're still currently the number 2 virus software in the whole world. So,
oh, that's interesting. Linda in the comments says, she's picking up on this, that the fake Rothschild woman was actually a nurse in inverted commas and probably brought drugs into the compound. Could well be right, Linda.
Why hasn't Flynn been recalled?
Flynn.
Yeah, he's a spy. He's a spy. I hate the devil card.
Yeah, just mercenary. And his brother's as bad, isn't he? They both come back. And they look like these all-American guys, just treacherous, sleazy, awful people.
Lock her up. Then he gets locked up. That's see, karma come get you. You got to keep your mouth closed. Be careful what you say.
Yeah. Will I go?
Absolutely.
Well, Queen of Pentacles kicks it off. So this is obviously about money, but also, values. It involved having to have a secret relationship with the moon, with his own values, like pretending to be an American patriot when he wasn't. This comes down, I don't think he's the only one. I'm beginning to think, I hadn't thought of this before, but there's almost at that top level, he isn't the only bent guy. So I think he what am I trying to say? There was someone higher than him when he was going through the ranks who introduced him to this way of thinking. Oh, don't be a mug, you could make a fortune just doing this and this. There's someone else that I've never thought about before. Things are moving quickly for Flynn, not quick enough for us, but they are. And he's not able to grab the reins on this. And then I'm thrilled to report, here's the tower. So I think, yeah, they must be acting on this. Surely to God, they're acting on this. Yeah.
What you getting, Johnie?
I didn't know. I don't know why the tower is even here. I got the tower and the page of wands, so there's some sort of messaging that brings disaster. And then I clarified the tower and got the 8 of wands, which is another messaging card. So it's like I told you the first time, but I still don't get it. Because I get here in the beginning, though, 7 of pentacles, 5 of pentacles, and 2 leaders. They didn't want to. And so it's didn't want to. Like, I mean, it's their prerogative, mind you, just like Merrick Garland also said, we're not litigating cases in public, so this is not something he needs to come out and give us status reports about what he's doing. No. But it still ends in the tower, some sort of disaster, but it comes in messaging form, so I don't know if he gets a letter, if he gets a what. But word of solace is 4 of swords, word of warning is 9 of cups. So something is cut off, but it is not. It doesn't spell jail. It doesn't spell.
Yeah, I'm not getting jail or even the end of the pension.
But I get though they don't want to. It's not important. That's what I get.
What you getting, Becca?
He's not innocent. His reputation is admired, but they're waiting on the house. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's been subpoenaed by the committee. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, he's flying under the radar.
I don't think he's flying under the radar. I get the devil's delayed right now because they've known for a long time that he's a devil, because he's got ties to the insurrection. They've got something on him with the insurrection. So the Defense Department or military or whatever recalling him, they're delayed right now. They've got something tangible. They're waiting right now. I think there's already been treacherous stuff coming up in that grand jury, the DOJ grand jury that they've already got. He's going to get burdened by the courts. So, and I do get him going away for a long time, but I think they're waiting to wrap up his involvement in January 6th and the network of people that he talked to, about that. So he's going to get judgment, but it's going to take time. So it's more than just helping Trump with top secret documents or
he was an independent actor before then. He invented a lot of this stuff before Donald knew about it. Yeah. In other news, the CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond jumped 57 stories to his death rather than face jail for stock dumping crimes.
I'm sure.
Yeah. He was in Tribeca. He just joined them in 2020, and he had just been brought up on the stock dumping stuff. And then Wednesday, they made all these announcements of what they're going to do to turn the company around. And then Friday, he jumps out a window. So, Trump always complained how Obama wiretapped him and surveilled him and Trump Tower and everything. And it's like, no, they didn't do surveillance in Trump Tower. They did it on Carter Page and people like that were meeting with Russians, but they didn't.
Papadopoulos
and stuff. But I want to know, are they wiretapping him now that they've caught him with all these top secret documents? Have they got a FISA warrant on him now? And oh, look, we have 1776 people in watching us. That was fun.
Awakening with Susan says, my pendulum says Flynn is working now with the FBI to bring down Trump. Hope you're right. Sorry, what was that question?
Are they surveilling or wiretapping Trump now? Are they surveilling him? Thank you, Uma.
The beauty is they can do whatever they like now because he complains about it anyway, even when they were.
Can't wait to see you in the Catskills, Uma.
Yeah. You see how the electronics about
Oh, mercy.
What have you got?
I didn't know, but I pulled 2 cards that are literally Barack Obama and Donald Trump.
That is hilarious.
But I get it somebody around him. The Page of Swords and the Lovers, and Page of Swords in here, the Liar is Jared Kushner. Ain't that something? But more importantly, the Page of Swords is also a spy card. So this is the one that dresses up, looks the part, goes behind the enemy lines. And the Lover is somebody who is trusted. King of Pentacles, it could be this person here. So I don't think it's him. I think it's somebody around him collecting evidence, just like it has been since he started all of this back in 2016 or whatever it was. They've been following him forever.
Thank you, Esther. I agree.
Mind you, that's like one of the first questions we started getting when he got elected. Is not one of the first ones was, when is he leaving? And then the second one is, who is the spy? Is there a spy in the White House? Is there a spy in the White House? There's a spy in his broom closet. There's a spy under the desk. There's a spy hanging out the window. The kitchen has one. So it's like everyone had somebody in that administration, from Russia to Saudi Arabia to anybody else's country, had a person in place that can get information if they need it to get.
Yes, spy's paradise. That's how it's been described, because it's come on down.
Because it was so loose and
no through the tunnel at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Asia. What you getting, Lena?
Not him, but someone close to him in the garden, which could be the golf course, because I don't think he's big on gardens. Remember, Melania ripped out every living tree around the White House and made it a pet cemetery, you know. So this, I think, is the golf course. The King of Swords made the decision, I think this is high up thing. No, you don't want to tarnish this, because this case is now rolling. You don't want to tarnish it with something that could be seen as yucky or not fair. So the Knight of Pentacles came up with the decision about, I think it's to do, it could be with his building, but it could be the, you know, when he's out and about, could be the car is what I'm trying to say. Golf or car or something like that. He has got a spy in the camp. There we go. I think they know they've nailed him. So there's not a lot of point like there was a year ago to get this stuff. I think they've got enough swords to actually surround him now without the latest mutterings from Lindsey Graham or anyone else. It's like everyone knows now in the field. So I think that was, to sum it up, I don't think, no, there's a war on Donald Trump, but I think they're keeping a close ear on those around him.
What you getting, Becca?
I get that there's a couple of people around him that are supposed to be security.
Ah, that would be
what I get, security.
Yes.
If here's a powerful protector, there's your security, and there's a couple of
that would make sense.
So.
I get the same thing. Security, somebody that's in a security that works for him. Even when he changed residences, when they moved with him to Mar-a-Lago, and they watch him and they learn a lot, and they, just it's going to take time to bring out all the stuff that he's moved around, that the devil's
maybe that's why Tony Ornato has resigned.
We're going to look at that next. It's somebody in security.
Good thinking.
They've trapped him. They know like all the treachery he's done. They've already got like so much stuff on him. So,
sorry, let me just read this comment. If anyone else knows any more about it. What about the Russian oligarch in southern Florida who was raided by the FBI yesterday and top secret docs were found? Short blip on the media and nothing since. So if anyone knows out there, please get back to us.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I had a question on that, because I was having trouble like confirming that was a real story.
Yeah, so we're not going with it till we know it's a real story, but I love the sound of it.
Because I would think that'd be all over MSNBC.
Yeah.
So Tony Ornato was in Secret Service under Trump. He's the one that his name came up over and over. He came in as chief of something in the White House right at the end of Trump's presidency. Came up in the January 6th hearings. What was that lady's name that did such
Cassidy Hutchinson
was talking about him. Well, he suddenly retired last week from. So I want to know, even though his tenure was about up and everything, why did he retire? And is he going to talk to the January 6th committee?
Yeah.
Who is he again?
Tony Ornato.
Okay.
From Secret Service under Trump.
Tony Ornato.
Terry put that man's name in the chat. It was Victor Veskelberg. He had properties in Florida and New York that were, well, they were linked to him, and they were searched by the FBI.
Uh-huh. Interesting. I've got my cards out, but I'm going to nip out and get a coffee, and I'll be back.
Okay. Tony Ornato. I mean, half of Trump Tower is owned by Russians, so there's a lot of oligarchs connected to him that they laundered money through buying condos at ridiculous prices. It's like why Trump hasn't been brought up on money laundering by now, because they were paying cash for condos in Trump Tower.
Basically for favors.
Yeah. Allegedly, I should say. Tony Ornato, why is he retired now? Is he going to be a cooperating witness? Well, he's not going to have a good time in retirement.
I get the Hierophant in Six of Wands. And this was not going to work out like he thought it was, because I get the Nine of Cups and the Word of Warning. So whatever you wished for, whatever you hoped for, was not going to actually work out that way. So a new action was, this is also a bit of force. Maybe somebody told you, look here, this is what you have to do because everything's about to hit the fan. And so for whatever reason, I guess this helps, but I get the retreat here. So this was something that was kind of inevitable. He kind of had to do. I don't think he had a whole lot of choice. I mean, you always have choice, but the hangman is here. Sometimes self-sacrifice is the best choice because you have to get out of some sort of situation or have to get something alleviated from you. And so I think that's what he was trying to do. I don't think that's going to work, but that's what he was trying to do.
What you getting, Becca?
Why did he retire? Delays and obstructions, punishment, work, documents missing or stolen. So I don't. Oh wait, the Secret Service did misplace or delete or it's
emails.
There's something about mail documents, mail results that are missing or stolen. Will he testify to the committee? Yes. It may be in a private setting or classified. I got the bouquet, the crossroads and book. Yeah, but it might be private in some sense, or he may not say much in some sense, perhaps. I don't know why he wouldn't, but I get that he retired because something around an investigation about documents that are missing or stolen.
Yeah, I think DOJ's coming on him too because he was getting asked a lot of questions and he's trying to cover up and gaslight for Trump and things that he stole, secret hidden things. And he was just going to take his family and run. It's not going to work because, he's got the tower because he's trapped. So I do think that he was aware also of things that were moved to Mar-a-Lago. I think he's got some knowledge of that. Treason and treachery. He was an emissary for the king. So I think they've got a lot more things. But I think he's going to get caught up more in the grand jury, the DOJ grand jury, because I keep getting a female in the DOJ coming after him.
Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide. It's a case of that here. He knows the game's up with the death card, I got the same card for the White House or, in fact, Mar-a-Lago, whatever. He's carrying the burden now. Too bad, too late. Zero sympathy for this guy, right? But now it's a burden. He saw all the steps that were taken and every inch of the way. It's that thing of being in the service industry where you're essentially invisible to the elitist boss. He knows much more than Trump probably knows about Trump, because he's been so close to him for so long. He's at the crossroads. He took the decision to resign because he knows they're not going to let him get away without testifying. Why would you? This was someone who was, intimately in the man's space every waking day. So, yeah, he better have his story straight.
Yep. So,
and sorry, I've got to report my coffee drama, which was there was no coffee left. I have a pot, and I am a bit traumatized, but it won't be long.
I miss coffee.
So,
you've given up coffee.
Coffee is my life.
I'm allergic to caffeine.
I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, Johnie. Really.
It's a good thing because it means I can't eat chocolate either. So
okay, but do you replace it with Coca-Cola or some other wicked substitute? No. Oh, you're born
fruit
again.
Juice.
I love
fruit juice. Fruit juice and saltwater taffy.
Kind of you can do decaf coffee, but what's the point, right?
It's still got caffeine in it. Caffeine free has no caffeine, but decaf just means they eliminated 99% of it, but it's still in.
Oh, it still has a little bit there.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Ex-Trump lawyers Pat Cipollone, and Philbin testified to the January 6th grand jury on last week.
Yeah.
So are they flipping? What are they giving up on Trump?
As the poll pops out.
Yeah, we'll read on them together.
Philbin and Cipollone. Cipollone. Coffee bean is my birthstone. I'm with you on that.
I'm surrounded by, there's a Starbucks here, one there, a Pete's Coffee there, and some little local coffee shop around here too. And
I am not a morning person. I have a T-shirt that says, "I don't rise and shine. I caffeinate and hope for the best."
Yes, exactly. But I don't know what it is. Like when I grew up, no one drank coffee. It was a tea culture and do. But we've gone from 0 to 1,000. Australian baristas are the best. They're actually, they can name their price in New York, London, Paris. And I live in Melbourne, which is the heart of coffee. You know,
Wow.
I can't tell you what a serious business coffee is, you know. Yeah, so Starbucks wouldn't cut it in Melbourne. I don't think there even is one, you know.
Cipollone and Philbin.
Okay, can I kick off and then I can go and get my coffee?
Yes, absolutely.
Page of Cups, you think there's no more news to be had, but I think they have got a bit of a surprise coming forward. Something else that's making us go ooh-ah when we find out what it is. They've held the secret for a long time, but at the same time, here's the Ace of Wands here. Direct action. I think they've talked to each other extensively and have decided to bite the bullet and do it more strongly than I would have thought, perhaps. They're a bit emotional about this. Well, yeah, they don't want to be roped into being supporters, and Cipollone has been very specific about what he said to the president. Now they've all reinvented themselves as patriots. Don't you love that? So emotion got to the better of him. I don't know about the other guy so much, but next to what Hogarth calls the stinky fish message, on the stealing of the election, they're called in for something else, and they have actually something really juicy and new on the election carry on, you know, leading into January 6th. That's me. I'll be back.
I got the Fool and then information. So he came back out again. They flipped out. So
can't get rid of him.
No. There's information on him that is currently something about stealing, naturally. But it is something that is covert, or was supposed to be. Here with the moon, it was supposed to be covered up. There's a woman involved as well. And this has something to do with not just him, but his administration and what he did as leader specifically. That may have been almost an abuse of power, for this is the word of warning as well. And there is a woman here who also is either making it easy for them to talk, or she's helping them in some sort of way, however that is. But somebody's pouring their heart out here too. So I don't know if this is a strike of conscience, or if this is he wasn't there for me, or what. But
I'm not going down with the captain.
Shouldn't have got that close to it in the first place. But you know, sometimes it takes a slap in the face to wake you up. But
What'd you get, Becca?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes to what Johnny was saying.
No, to that they flipped.
Oh, they flipped.
They're not gonna. Nobody's gonna go down for him. I mean, unless you're. What's his CFO guy that's going to jail for a few months?
Weiselberg.
Yeah, unless you're that idiot, nobody else going down for you. Sorry.
Yeah. I get, here we go again. Starting out, it's like judgment and nostalgia. Like, oh, we're going to do this all over again because we work for this idiot.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking us questions, and the bully that created the chaos, with the insurrection. There's something new that they are giving that America is not aware of yet. So there is something new they brought up with the insurrection, and I also get like with the peanut butter boys and the oath creepers and everything, and how there's a different perspective on how they got information to them and how they got them active and how they got them to be disruptive. So and how they got an abundance to come to try to change the election. So they know something about the whole network of it that they're giving up, something new that we haven't heard yet. So
yeah, there is another dimension there.
there's
More information. The oligarch who was raided was Victor Vesselberg. His New York condo was also raided. So he was raided in Florida and New York. Interesting.
Yes, Gary gave us the name
earlier. To the Yeti. I mean, he might have plenty of things going on in his own right, but interesting.
So do we want to read on it? See if there's any connections to
Trump? Let's see if there's a connection. Documents? Victor Vesselberg.
Is there a connection to Trump and the missing?
Because he might just be his own criminal.
What's the question?
Victor Vesselberg, he's a Russian oligarch that they raided his home in Florida and in
New York. Yesterday. So is there any connection with Trump?
The FBI Homeland Security searched alleged properties of Russian oligarch in New York and Florida. So they're looking for anything and everything connected to him.
It could either have to do with Trump or it could have to do with sanctions also.
Mm-hmm. Or, sex trafficking or anything at all, really.
Yeah.
And Trump's not the only criminal in town.
So every card wants to fly out.
Victor Vesselberg.
Then ask, why was he raided?
Oh. Like kickoff, Jen?
Absolutely.
I think there is a connection, and the connection, I think it came from New York, either from the Letitia James stuff or Melvin Bragg's stuff. I think this is about the ownership of or real estate that they did. Then gets the high priestess, the secret stuff. We're not going to hear much more about it for now with this Four of Swords, but it's a sleeping issue. And when it's revealed, again, the surprise news, the fish in the cup, when it's revealed, I think it's going. I think this could actually come back to Don Jr. and or Eric or somebody, not necessarily Trump himself, but trading on the Trump name. It might
get all our money from Russia.
Yeah, they were up front. We love Russia. We get all our money from Russia. I think it goes back a ways and it goes back to them. That's something we haven't asked generally too. Will they ever be indicted for their own crimes as opposed to being, the kiddies?
Yeah. What you getting, Johnny?
I asked why was he being raided,
Yeah.
and there is something about forcing or trying to force someone or manipulate someone as well. Maybe this is just what's going to come up in some documents and discovery. Here I get the Lovers and the Seven of Pentacles. So there's some sort of investment here that he was also trying to make. But there's a woman here that he is in conflict with. The Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups. There's maybe something to do with children or hospitals or births or medicines or anything of that nature. But there's also something health related or investments in health here too. There's a manipulation of it, but it has something to do with work, investments, and money. That's what's also coming up here too.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
So it could be Trump as well, but this is also something they're going to find in discovery.
I get that investment card on the bottom too, that he's around the, as a circle of support for Trump, because I get Trump in junior year. He'd been talking with them, and he had unfinished work with them. So there's some sort of investment he was working on with them. But somebody gave him up. Somebody said something because somebody stabbed him in the back on that. So they're seeking out information from him because he had worked with them, it looks like, on dark money. He's going to regret working with them, but it may lead to some things overseas also, like some money that got moved overseas.
I'll just jump in here. Donna says Vesselberg's yacht was seized by Italy at the behest of the US government in April.
Interesting. So moving stuff offshore. What'd you get, Becca? The ship. She's got the ship. All right.
Is he connected to Trump? Was the raid in any way connected to Trump? No, I'm getting a no. This could be quite literally a boat, but it's saying that there's something abroad or far. There's the investigation, fraud, and then here's big trouble, uncertainty, doubt, hesitation. I don't think his raid is connected to Donald Trump. There's something else going on, either around fraud and it's being investigated, or something that he was working on that's being investigated that's quite problematic. But it may have come from something they found on a ship. I mean, I don't know, but
he was questioned or investigated by Robert Mueller too.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
So but the way that I worded it was like, his raid in Miami and Florida, I was thinking in my head, was that search connected to the search that they just did on Trump? Do you see what I'm saying? But
I don't think it's that recent a connection. I think it goes.
Okay. Because that's what I was thinking inside of my head. So I get a no. But
I get money too. Something to do with money.
So Mark Meadows, within a week of the search of Mar-a-Lago, gave up his text messages to the National Archives. Well, he had already given them to the January 6th committee and everything, like the emails and text and everything. So I want to know, is this new text that he hadn't given up? Like, is there something he had been holding back that all of a sudden, they're raiding Trump, I need to give him the rest of my texts? Because he had already submitted everything, we thought.
So what's the actual question? Sorry, Jen.
Did Mark Meadows present new information to the National Archives that they didn't have previously? Or, it's new to the archives. Is it new, like things that he did not present to the January 6th committee? I guess is the way to ask it. Is it new information nobody else has seen?
I get yes. Six of Pentacles and the High Priestess. There's something he gave that may have been concealed or in secrets. The thing that he produced with the Empress card here, the Seven of Wands or Seven of Cups, there might be something purposefully made to seem like something else. Maybe it wasn't even important. Could have been his, lemon meringue recipe or something, but it's something that may have been concealed and maybe not really pertinent to the January 6th committee, but it was password protected or was protected somehow, or it's backed up somewhere too.
What you getting, Lena?
Well, I got the 6, 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles, so I think it's about money. But breaking those down, I think there's something about a scheme to make money. Like, traditionally this is the apprentice card, but it's like literally making money. He thought he was making money. Has he got adult kids or something? Does anyone know that story? It's like he was trying to found his own legacy. And he thought that this stuff was bad and wrong on some level, but it was so lucrative he couldn't turn his back on it, and living the high life. But now the problem set in, right? So this is the Six of Pentacles. He has some evidence, I think, of money changing hands that is a fresh bit of information in the story. Someone he didn't think about. So he didn't think about not trusting this person. But I think there's been a bit of pressure on him. In other words, I don't think he would have voluntarily done anything. Right, so he's had to be pressured and pressured and pressured to do the right thing at any point, and he's now feeling that pressure. So that's what I've got.
What you getting, Becca?
There's your phone. There's your mail. So there's your text messages or voicemails also, quite possibly. And then dog. Yeah, these are new. Perhaps when he was like in a advisory or protective role in some way as an employee. So yeah, they're new. I'm wondering if you gave him voicemails too, because this is meetings and negotiations, and that's mail. So not just text messages, so perhaps in voice recordings too. I don't know.
Interesting. And I'm getting what Lena was too, that he was strong armed into this, like kind of pushed into this, because the devil, he gave up something new that they didn't have. It's either about money or it's about the election votes, something about like maybe the fake electors, because I have the loser here. So I'm getting a fake electors kind of vibe off of it and how they were going to try to turn it around and spin it. But, he's looking at what he was going to harvest legally with all these, investigations and everything. And he's like, oh, I'm not done yet. I got some more. Let me give you some more things that have blocked you from. So, yeah. There's something about security also. So maybe about security around January 6th. Maybe, or the lack thereof, that they didn't call more in, something else that he's got inside knowledge on. So, yeah, I think it's all new stuff.
Oh, that's an interesting question from Pat McBride. We all know that 1.6 billion was given from the Middle East to Jared, right? And then we've also found out in the last week 1.6 billion was donated through a third party, this weird Leonard Leo, to the RNC. Now, it is odd they're large and exact sums of money. Could Jared have procured that money to try and make sure the GOP is elected, because that would get them all out of trouble, because you can imagine what a GOP would do with all this. Yeah. Is there something in that? Shall we ask?
Did Jared have anything to do with the big donation to the RNC?
I noted Bernie's little fingers to pass money on rather than keep it, but there might be a, vested interest in it. Interesting. Did he pass any big bucks to the GOP? Yeah. Jared.
Roro's about to get in big trouble.
Oh, no.
I get if he gave anything to the RNC, it was a small donation, like out of his own pocket. Because I get like he kept that, transferred that, kept that in the family because they were burdened. So there's something sneaky about this money, thievery about it. But if he gave anything to RNC, it was small change. This is something that came up because of an idea he got when he was in the White House. So he knew that money was coming to him.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Lena?
Well, I got that, funnily enough, here he is making a plan with overseas. So I agree with Jenn in the sense I don't think it was his 1.6 that he then gave to the GOP, but I think he was a strategist in this huge amount of money going from wherever it came from to the GOP with secrecy here with the High Priestess. Wheel of Fortune, as opposed to him giving money, I think he charged them more money here with the Queen of Pentacles for doing that. Like as a brokering service or something, because I know the guys with real money, so I'll do this deal for you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think that's more likely. What did you guys get?
Everybody's in the chat. I'm fine. Please stop asking. It does not mean I'm feeling sick or I'm tired or I'm just quiet.
He just hasn't had enough coffee. It's all right.
Exactly. I got my coffee sitting right there, but I haven't drank it yet.
Not everybody can be up every Sunday night. Usually one of us is like high energy and the other two are kind of like, eh.
Yeah. Oh, you should try Monday morning. I mean, please.
I know. Yeah. Those are the worst. Was Jared Kushner involved? I get it was a woman. Opportunity here, friendly, loyal woman with huge loads of financing. So
why am I thinking Jenny Thomas when you said that? Interesting. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, but I don't that deal with the Leo.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't get Jared. I get a woman.
Could very powerful. Like that Publix heiress too.
Very powerful. May have something to do around food with the bear, resources and finances.
That'd be like the Publix heiress.
Yeah, I get a woman. So.
Well, what'd you get, Johnie?
No. There's no donations, 5 of Pentacles, and it's for the family.
So the Supreme Court is threatening to overturn, and pardon me, I can't pronounce it, Obergefell. It's the same-sex marriage. Yeah, marriage equality, same-sex marriage law. And they're looking at that in September. So can we see, will they overturn it? Because that would piss off all the gays, just like they pissed off all the women for Roe v. Wade.
Will they
overturn same-sex marriage? Let's just knock everything in the floor. Row. Yeah, somebody said, asked me, why didn't you name one of the kittens Petty Boots? And I was like, you want to hear me yelling, Petty, Petty, Petty.
You know, if I were Biden, you know, because I've always gotten that the Dems will hold and gain a few in the House and that they'll gain more in the Senate. Not that it would be enough, but you know what I would do? I would appoint more judges, overturn everything that these a-holes have overturned, and then sit there and impeach every single one of them. The three that Mitch McConnell stole. So rub it in their face first and kick them out. You know, that's what I would.
And then reduce the terms to 20 years or something too. This lifetime appointment. No.
I mean, Brett Kavanaugh is an easy out. It's documented that he lied. You know, during his hearing. Amy Coney Barrett is not qualified. And the other guy, there was some shady stuff going on with that when the one guy resigned because his son got in trouble with Deutsche Bank or something. And, you know, so I would overturn everything. Oh, and then let me not forget Clarence Thomas, yank him out by his ear too.
Thank you, Esther. So what are you getting? Will the Supreme Court overturn same-sex marriage?
I get yes. There's something that ends, it becomes a burden, and it's overturned there.
I'm getting a yes, too. They've got unfinished work, and this is one of my gay cards, and I get yes, overturning the law. I get a big yes.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I get, look, Five of Pentacles, they're out of ideas across the board. The only thing they know is to slash and burn and cut with the Grim Reaper, so they're going there. This is the nostalgia card because, as we know, they're really fond of 1566. They really want to go backwards. And this will be their undoing, and with the hostage card, there's no doubt. It's almost, dare I say, it's almost worth it. It's like it'll push another 100,000 voters, another million voters, whatever, to the polls, but it's not a winner for the GOP.
But with that mentality, Lena, it's almost like Clarence Thomas, see yourself out, because according to that ideology, you're a third of a person. Same with Amy Coney Barrett too. If they want to, 1500s, see those two out. Unless you plan on carving out a special law for yourself because you're part of the elite ruling class, which is,
well, that wouldn't be a first either. Yeah, no, that's right. No. What did you get, Johnny?
I get no. I get some argument here is halted, Page of Wands, Four of Swords, Tower. So some sort of argument is halted, and for at least for now, something stays. Four of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. It continues its cycle, or its routine.
What they could do too is try it out on the hustings, you know, and see what sort of reaction they get, and then they might chicken out, you know. That could happen too, yeah. What did you get, Jen?
I got a yes.
Oh, that's right.
That they had unfinished work, and that, yes, they were going to go after gay marriage. I had Ace of Swords in the Sun.
It would be so stupid.
It would be so stupid right before.
But they are so stupid.
It would just ensure that we maintain both. So, Lena, let's look at your question about Mary Peltola. She just beat out Sarah Palin in Alaska, but it's a temporary. She has to run again in November.
Yeah, let's see how she's going to go. The first Native Alaskan, a woman elected to Congress, very first time. She did well. How will she go in November? Apparently, she ran her whole campaign on salmon. Bless her.
Mhm.
And that's because it's a really big deal in Alaska. If you've got those big commercial trawlers killing all the babies and stuff, it kills an industry and stuff. So she managed to attract people from all other sort of persuasions because Alaskans are heavily invested in salmon. So I'll take her word for it.
I think it's been a long time since they've had a Democrat there also.
Oh, yeah. Is it 50 years? Could it be that long? I don't know. It's a long time and she's done it. So it's an amazing story. What will she do in November? Oh, no. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. What is that, man? Well, that's weird. Look, I think here, I think there's going to be family issues or something. Like, I spend a lot of my life involved with Indigenous communities here and in the Pacific and stuff, and you spend a lot of time going to funerals, right? Because with marginalized populations, you have huge health issues. People die prematurely. I am so sick of going to the funerals of 48-year-olds and 56-year-olds, you know. And this is the vibe I'm getting from this. So I think she's very, very upset by something that breaks her heart. And what I think at first I thought, oh, this is the political story. And I went, oh, no, I think it's personal. It's like someone really close to her, I think, is going to pass. She's at the crossroads. It's so close to her, she almost thinks maybe I won't run. You know, she's got the crossroad. This doesn't matter, this world, this white fella world doesn't matter. I'm going home sort of vibe. But decides to go forward despite this personal tower. And then she gets the victory card. So she got all these truly awful cards. You could hear me groaning. But that's my take on it. I think it might not be the political stuff. It'll be other stuff, but she'll come through it. Oh, please.
I'm kind of wondering that too, Lena, because I'm getting like all these horrible cards, right?
Yeah.
Death and destruction. And this is one of my cards, like being very burdened. But she secures the government position. She gets the votes.
Wow.
There's her. She gets the job. But she's got something horrible getting ready to go on that's really upsetting in her.
Yeah, you got the Three of Swords, you got the Tower. I mean,
Tower, the Devil, Three of Swords, and this is one of my cards for somebody that passes on, like death. So there's something strange, interesting that.
Yeah, because I was half expecting bulldozer cards because she's a threat to big money or something like that, But this is different again, What did you get, Johnie?
So I got the Three of Swords too, and there is something. And the family card here, the Ten of Pentacles, the lineage. There could be something, and there may be a backstab or maybe not romantic, a relationship death too. Like this is the end of this. Something happened, something betrayed. Maybe somebody is going to leak a story, or try to leak a story, or try to turn the story to make it sound bad. Because now is the time for the campaign. So the Dirty Tricks campaign starts as well, and this could be a separation of big money. Maybe she has no really large donors. There is something positive for some man here, though, as far as going forward. There is hope. It ends in the Nine of Wands, which I clarify with the Five of Pentacles, so it doesn't look good. The word of warning is the Six of Pentacles. This is my vote card, or counting the votes. So it's like there's not enough, but in the environment, all she really needs is a turnout.
Yeah.
The Lovers, the Knight of Cups, and the Star, which means the people are there. They just need to be motivated. Thank you, Linda. They just need to be motivated. So she has the people that can produce the numbers. She just needs to get them out. So it's not impossible, but her hurdle, that Four of Swords, her hurdle is just people retreating from the process. Maybe if it was like other countries where you got a fine for not voting, then maybe they'd go. But it's like she needs the number, she needs the turnout, and the hope is there, though.
Well, I got two more questions. George Clooney, he's releasing his documentary this month about the Ohio State debacle that Jim Jordan was involved in, the sexual scandal. So I want to know, will his documentary, or docudrama, I should say, will it affect Jim Jordan in the midterms in a negative way?
Right, so it's coming out really soon, yeah?
In September. Thank you, Hope.
Okay, I hope it's better than his movie on Hawaii, The Descendants. That was a terrible film. I liked him up until then.
I love George Clooney.
Well, I always did, but that's the worst movie I've ever seen. Okay, let's.
It's going to be on HBO, Lisa. Lisa Graham in chat.
Yeah, let's have a look. Will it impact Jim Jordan?
I'll have to order it on demand because I don't have HBO.
They're getting ready to merge with Discovery Plus. So I'm waiting on that too.
Oh, well, I get a yeah.
I do too.
George Clooney still has pulling power. And so I'm hoping a lot of middle America who aren't looking at it as a political docker will get to it. So it will have an element of surprise news. It has star power, and people will make a judgment. They have to assess and make a judgment what they think about this guy in this. And I get that some people will move away from him because of it. Are these numbers to sway a national election? It's really dubious, but in his hometown and so forth. Because it was very brave of those men to come out. It's very hard for men to report sexual assault. And so for them to have done that in the first place was pretty brave. So let's hope.
Thank you, Mountain Dancer. What'd you get, Johnie?
I get yes. Here with this is Clooney, dark-haired man, and his messaging, his movie here. The Four of Cups, it cannot help but have an effect because of what will be in it and the effect that it will have upon people. It will tug at the heartstrings. Here's the Judgment as well. It's going to bring up that past too, because this is something that he thought he was able to just sweep under the rug and get away from. It will bring up the past. There's the Lovers and the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Cups. The numbers will be diminished, but not necessarily enough to where he loses or something like that, but they will go down. There's also some new people coming forth too. And one of them is a woman, so I don't know if she maybe has a son that she is advocating for, or this has ruined his life or something of that nature. But you're going to see a lot of like healing conversations from this. You're going to see a lot of talking heads, all the View and this and all those people are going to be talking about it as well. So it's going to be out there.
Yeah, the
especially
issues.
since this is also connected to a political person, so it makes it their business as well. His word of warning is the tower. And that's not a good thing, for this does expose. This also brings down the idol of your own making. So something is getting ready to crash for him for sure.
I get that too. I get, here's George, the creative man. Something hidden, secret knowledge comes out that burdens the crap out of him. It's going to do him in. He's going to lose the election. People are like, nope. It's going to get a lot of Republican people talking about what was in this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So, final question. Monistat Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is talking about in a public school, she doesn't like people identifying as anything besides white, straight, and male, female. She can't deal with transgender or anything else. So she says that there is a public school that is providing litter, that was requested to provide litter boxes for a child who identifies as a cat, and that so this child can live out its fantasies as a cat in school, and how horrible this is. So she's like pushing for that. This isn't normal.
Look at Becca's face.
Look how crazy the left-wingers are. They identify as cats. I probably should identify as a cat. So does anybody of these quacking or crazy people believe for a second that she thinks that somebody identifies as a cat?
Look, these myths just take off. We've had the same in Australia. You get the mad right-wing fringe who say every kindergarten in Australia is teaching children that, Christianity is bad and we should, worship Allah or something. They just make up stories, and then little. No Australian school does Christmas anymore. Well, yes, they do, like all of them, including the Muslim and Jewish schools. You can't avoid them. They go, yeah, well, it happens to be Christmas too. I mean, they just make up this stuff.
Yeah, and I agree the litter box story was a joke, and she fell for it, but she's out there repeating the talking points about this person identifies as a cat.
I don't get that it was her. It's a man that started this narrative, a man that wants to burden or make others suffer, and it's a lie. So I don't know if this is an aide around her somewhere or someone on the internet with the crazies, but it's a lie. Nobody believes her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, lady, have you looked in the mirror? You look like Mr. Ed.
That's what
to Mr. Ed. I mean, like, seriously.
That's what the quackanoners do. They read horrible, stupid stuff as a joke on the internet and try to say it's real.
Yeah.
So does anybody believe her, Johnie?
Well, I mean, and then in the chat they were saying too, and it is true, furries is a big thing. This is people who dress up as foxes and cats in like full suit, like a Disney suit. It's full suit, and they are foxes and cats and all this. But that is different than what she's saying. She's saying like trans species type thing.
Yeah.
So it's this. Unfortunately, does anyone believe her? There's a very, very small group of people who believe anything everywhere. Yes. And so I get the Three of Cups, and they all may be drinkers as well. And I get the Three of Cups, and then here with the Queen of Swords and the Four Swords, she does not believe it, though. She is basically trying to create a narrative and a message. Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, he did the same thing. He said, when you allow gay people to get married, it opens the door for other marriages. And the man who was interviewing him said, well, what kind of other marriages? He said, well, you know what other kind of marriages there are. What do you mean? So the man was like, what do you mean? Like what? And he didn't answer. So basically, if you want to marry a giraffe, you can, or you want to marry your computer, you can, or whatever kind of stupidness there. So they try to control the narrative and create a story. But there's a very, very small group of people with their tinfoil hats sitting in the closet with the antenna to make sure the government doesn't steal their thoughts. Those kind of people can believe a thing like this, but it is not widespread.
Yep, I get there's people that are anxious about this, that, the erratic people that are anxious about it, thinking that there's children squatting in litter boxes in school, those people that support her. I do get it started with the man too, Becca, but they're like ready to take actions to protect their children. It's just that there's some I get that are like, what? Where'd this come from? That seems the truth.
Yeah.
So,
I've got mine here.
Hang on. Identify as cats.
Yeah. They probably think they're reindeer. Who knows? You just tell them they're cats.
Yeah.
I got that it was a revenge thing. It was a joke thing originally. She transformed it, or so she thought, to a real thing as the magician. And the sun serves to only shine how ludicrously stupid this woman is. As my old dad used to say, when horses have mad eyes, you've got no choice, you've got to shoot them. And she's got mad eyes. So I think this is working against her. That, there might be 12 people who believe her, but more people are going to go, oh, no. I think it's getting so out there. There's got to be a line in the quicksand.
Which is why you've got to watch what you say, you people. But I mean, then again, she did it on purpose. So.
But then again, this is the same lady that believes in the Jewish space lasers that are setting fires to California.
Yes.
Jewish.
And the suit police are coming to get you.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is be careful if you dress up as a cat for Halloween, because they're going to think that you identify as cat.
You're
and that you're horrible. They might try to tranquilize you.
Well, wait a minute.
You can't possibly be that stupid.
Wait a minute.
Then
what is this?
That's the creepy baby head.
This is a stick, and that's the face. What is this? Is this trans species? Are you becoming a tree and you didn't tell me?
How can you sleep with that in your house?
That's the creepy baby head, Lena. The creepy baby
We're
head.
family.
Is it battery operated? Does the head spin around?
You can pick your friends, but not your relations.
It just looks right at me.
Johnie, do the eyes open and close like those old creepy dolls? No, they're fixed. It would be creepier if they opened and closed.
It is weird. What is it supposed to do?
Nothing. It's my friend.
It's his creepy baby head scepter.
It's part of my Halloween costume.
Creepy baby head.
I'm going to be a witch doctor, and this is part of my witch doctor costume.
Look at. Oh,
I got to get the wig and my voodoo doll. That's all that's left.
Oh, look. That is the creepiest of creepy baby heads.
Thank you so much, Lena, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats tonight. Thank you to the moderators, and we'll be on Becca's channel, House of Lenormand, next Sunday.
And you can go on Amazon and order your One to World Tarot.
It will be out in October.
I need to order one. I love those. Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys. Look after yourselves.